Welcome back, guys. It's a beautiful day out today. As you can see, spring is definitely in full effect. Hopefully all the cold weather and the cold fronts are behind us. Just wanted to reach out to you guys today, and I had a very interesting conversation with a nephew of mine's concerning, of all things, love. And he asked me, Unc, is love really worth fighting for? So, wow, that's really a loaded question. Is love really worth fighting for? First of all, I think you'd have to establish if the love you share is real, and if it's real, is it real for both parties? Because what we find ourselves sometimes being in the midst of a one-sided relationship. All relationships go through problems. We have our ups and downs. Some have their breakups and makeups. But if you really love someone and they really love you, it can be fixed. Most relationships fail for lack of communication. So the biggest part is, and especially for us men, is we think sometimes our actions should be enough. Well, I'm paying the bills. Well, I'm going to work. Well, I did this, I did that. But sometimes we need to communicate. And not just that we are doing these things, but we need to communicate with our spouse, our significant other. Women are a different creature, is what I told him, and that not in a bad way, but in a way that some women need to be, well, most women, all women in my opinion, need to have some form of communication. And if we can learn to do that and establish a communication between us, then there's nothing in your relationship, in my opinion, that couldn't be fixed. It's one of those things to where we live in a society today to where everyone is quick to give up. Everyone is quick to look for the next relationship, the next piece, rather than fixing the foundation that you've already laid down. And in that quick relationship or quick switch we look for, we never really even build a foundation because we are so attracted to the right now. And so it's one of those things to where if you're being honest with yourself, if you're being true to yourself and to your partner, then you will know that you have to take the time to build it one brick at a time, one communication at a time. Fellas, women are going to hold you accountable to what you say. And that's another thing that leads to us not being able to sustain a communication relationship after we've hit. I'm just gonna put it out there, because some guys make promises to get that, and then once they get that, they forget the promises they made. But the female, she has not. She's gonna hold you accountable, especially after she's gone ahead and given it to you. So imagine now you've gone along and you have gotten into this relationship with her or you've hit, and you're taking it one day at a time. Next thing you know, you're living together. You're like, wow, where did that come from? I never intended on being in that situation, but because it was good, because the moment may have been right, we go ahead and we move in. But our intentions nor our communications were ever established to build a rapport, much less start to create a foundation. Now I know I'm jumping around a little bit, because the original question was, is love worth fighting for? In my opinion, hell yes. All day, every day. Forget what your friends say. Forget what anyone else says. Something my mom taught me from a young child is to thine own self be true. And if you cannot be true to yourself, how can you be true to someone you profess to love? So we have to first be honest with ourselves, be honest with that person that you are in love with. You guys hear this? Spring is really in effect. I'm walking over a waterfall. It's very relaxing. You come sit over and listen to that. So, getting back to what we were discussing, if you love someone, if you truly love someone, yes, it's worth fighting for. Then the tricky part begins. How do we profess that love, especially if you are now separated or on bad terms, if you will, meaning you're not communicating, she's upset for whatever reason. Well, how do you make that work without it coming off as stalkerish, or you continue to push her away even further? Because sometimes, again, us as men, we want to show, but we have yet to learn how to communicate. So we have to sit back, and you have to really digest your girl, and you have to know her at that point. And if you don't really know her, then you will become something that she's not trying to hear. I tell you this from experience, that we want women to see, again, that instant, that microwave. We want everything right now. We want everything in our time. So the first thing I would say, once you've established that love is worth fighting for, is to pray. And when you pray, don't just say, Lord, give me my girl back. Lord, I want my girl back. First say, Lord, give me peace to deal with what I'm going through right now, because I love this woman. Lord, give me peace to see if this is really the woman that you would have for me. Because see, now we're opening up another can of worms. See, sometimes we want what we want, but that one is not what God wants for you. So if you mess around and pray enough, he'll go ahead and give you what you want. He'll let you walk down that road, let you experience that. So it's one of those things to where, be careful. Take the time to meditate on your situation. Take the time to be that person that you think or know she would want you to be. So, yes, love is worth fighting for, but know what you're fighting for. Know who you're fighting for. You can't fight for it because it's comfortable. You can't fight for it because it's something that, you're this is all I know. She's all I know. That's not love. Love is when you wake up and the first thing you think of is this person. Love is before you go to bed. That's the last thing you think of. Love is wanting to share your life and everything in it with her. Love is wanting to be honest. Love is total. That's all I can say. Love is total. Love is everything. Love is one that you cannot see yourself or your life in any capacity without this person. Now, it doesn't mean you're constantly tied at the hip, but you want your girl to be your best friend, at least in my opinion. And that doesn't mean that, that she replaces your boys or things of that nature. No. But what it does mean is you should be able to talk to your girl about anything and everything. And for you ladies, the same thing. Talk to your guy. And if you guys feel like you cannot communicate, then there's a problem. If all you do is you have fun when you're making love or you're having sex or you're doing something that's along those lines, but then yet when things calm down, you really have nothing to say to each other. When you lay in the bed, if you're not immediately going to sleep or you're not making love to each other, you have nothing to say to each other. When you're eating together and you're sitting at the table and all there is uncomfortable silence, something's wrong. So I apologize for the glare, guys. It's like I said, spring is here and the sun is out, but I hope that you hear me. And for those of you who understand what I'm saying, if you are one of those that find yourself with that uncomfortable silence, you need to address it. Hey, what's going on? How was your day? Something as simple as that. How was your day? Yeah. And if that person does not want to communicate with you, then you have to start processing that. And you have to start processing that before you get 3, 4, 5 years into a relationship that's going nowhere. Because eventually that person will find someone that they can communicate with. And with that being said, we all know that will open up to a whole nother lane that's not good for either party. So with that being said, love is worth fighting for. Respect yourself. Respect your mate, your partner, your wife, your significant other. Communicate with each other. You should know their wants, their desires, their fears. So, like I said, relationships have hiccups. Relationships go through ups and downs. There may even be a separation, and it's very hurtful, very uncomfortable, especially when you're not knowing, is it over? Does he or she no longer really love me? Well, some people need space, and some of us feel like, hey, we figured it out. We don't need time out. we figured it out. The principal, y'all don't have to go to the principal's office. I know what's wrong. Well, not everyone is the same, unfortunately. And that too is a learning experience. So I would say this: if you love that person, express that. If it's nothing more than just, hey, I love you, I hope you're well, I really don't want to lose you, but I don't want to give enough space to where you not know or feel that I love you. And with that being said, I hope that all of you guys out there are enjoying this beautiful weather that's out and about right now. The flowers are blooming, the green is out, people are running, people are bike riding, people are walking like me, Uncle D. And just know that I'm always going to give you 100. And sometimes I segue, but that's only because I want you to get the full understanding of the topic at hand. So with that being said, man, I can't get away from this glare. It's everywhere. Maybe if I turn away from the sun, there we go. But with that being said, I want you guys to comment, subscribe to my channel, hit your like button, share this. I'm sure there's someone in your circle that can use a little wisdom in the situation they're going through. None of us are perfect, but if we are willing to own up to our mistakes, being honest with ourselves again first, and then with those that we're dealing with, your relationships can be salvaged, your love can be salvaged. But remember, guys, when women are hurt, all they remember is the bad shit you did. I don't care. You can say, I love you, I love you, I love you. Damn, I love you. All she heard is the damn. Oh, it was a hiccup. So you have to be as genuine, open, and honest as you can. And then just pray that, again, if she or he is who God intends for you to share your life with, it'll come together. But like God also says, is faith without works. So you can't force it, but you can't stand still either. So you have to fix those things that cause to whatever grief you're going through. And if you can do that, when she comes around or he comes around, you're ready to pick up and run. But also, I want to leave you with this. Know that people say, oh, let's start over, let's just get back together. Well, I never believed in that, because if you're not going to fix what's wrong, you're going to get back together into the same old drama that got you where you are. You have to learn to start anew. You have to reintroduce yourself to that person. You have to let that person know that not just let them know, you have to show them that I'm not trying to take you back down that road that we went to. So with that, I pray that you all understand what I'm saying. I pray that you all find that true love, and you don't have to be going through anything right now. If your relationship you feel is rock solid, hey, when you get done with this, look at your significant other and say, hey, I love you. Simple as that. With that, I thank you guys for your time. Remember, Real Talk with Uncle D, where it's always straight 100. And to thine own self be true always. Y'all have a beautiful day.